All right, so we are leaving the Malje Karelië and we are in the taxi of Pavel on our way back to Arkhangelsk. They're laughing at my pronunciation. No? Oh. Huh? Pronunciation? No?
Reportage.
Okay. Again, I point out to you the trees, like on the train, like at the museum, just billions of them. And this is a Russian road here in the far north. As a matter of interest to you, by law, this car has normal tires on it. Sometimes you will find a car come past you making an enormous racket with its tires, and that's because they haven't changed the winter tires to summer tires. And in fact, that's illegal. You're supposed to change your tires. You may not drive with winter knobbly tires on the bare tar in summer because it mucks up the tar. So you see the scenery of Russia. You'll see many places that are downtrodden. You know, it's easy to identify places that are houses, for example. Not only houses, but observable features, houses, pavements, shops that are downtrodden, that are not in a good way. But on average, it's not difficult to identify that the society is coming up. People are prospering. And I tell you what, like any father, one of my greatest concerns for the future is for my son's welfare in South Africa. And the last thing I want is them leaving South Africa because it's becoming such a, or has become such a dead loss. Not in everything and all of the time, but largely. By and large, do we have whatever the most recent figures are, 36, 38% unemployment and over 50% youth unemployment? Yes, we do. Therefore, it's not unfair to say that South Africa is in many regards a dead loss because there is no evidence for improvement. There's nothing to suggest that tomorrow the electricity is going to be sorted out, or the water, or whatever the case may be, unemployment. And so it's particularly poignant to me as a father to contemplate how my homeland is going down the tubes, whereas these guys are coming up so radically. Nice cars, nice houses, nice restaurants, lovely, well-kept museums. Look at this here. Can you imagine driving through, I don't know, name your favorite place around Durban or Pietermaritzburg or Hazy View, and driving for kilometer after kilometer after kilometer after kilometer and no litter. Nothing. No litter. Sorry that I'm shouting. I apologize, everybody. But just look here. Nothing. No litter. And in South Africa, it's the opposite, the very opposite. These people, Russians, are experiencing a prosperity that has to be the envy of the world. As I say, it's easy to point out the blemishes, the little acne scar on a beautiful girl's face. It's easy to say, oh, well, that house is falling down. On average, Russia is a very beautiful girl. A pimple here, a skin tag there, a mole in the next place, an acne pockmark in the other. Yes, of course, but on average, I can imagine my sons in such an environment of opportunity. It so happens that I am fortunate. My sons, the youngest one, is doing very well at school, and he's started playing first team hockey for a very, very good school at the age of 14. You know, just an outstanding achiever. His older brother, one up, started work 3 years ago, and he received some promotions, and then he was headhunted, believe it or not, at the age of 21, I think. 21. He's doing very well. His older brother, the oldest of the three, has 3 businesses. He told me a couple of months ago what he pays himself, and I was, that it's admirable for a 25-year-old guy who started 2 or 3 businesses from nil, from exactly scratch, to be doing so well. And now he's about to leave in a few days' time for Europe. He's on the coaching staff of a South African sports team. Perhaps I should be a little bit discreet and not mention what sports team it is. National team. My point being that I'm blessed to have 3 such sons. And such people, guys with so much potential and energy and vigor, drive, X factor, would do well in this society, would thrive. Instead, their opportunities are curtailed by, well, we needn't even go into it. What is that? Is it Peterbilt? Oh. Yeah. Here the cars are ordinary. You know, it's not like Moscow. Maybach, Mercedes S500, Mercedes Geländewagen, AMG 63, AMG. Here the cars are ordinary, but still let nobody tell you that Russia is on her knees thanks to Ursula von der Leyen's European Union sanctions. It's not true. As they say in Russia, Nipravda. It's false. Look with your eyes. They're telling us the diametric opposite of the truth. Those buses, by the way, they're a little bit dusty and grubby as they stand there. But that's a bit misleading. I've been in those buses. Spotless. You could eat off the floor. Roman was telling me that two of the, not exactly these ones, but two of these blocks in this section were bought by gypsies. You know, they bought out the whole block times two. So just gypsies live there in those two blocks. You see, there's a dirty, falling down, broken house. Is that the average? No. The average is growth. The average is ascent. The average is on the way up. And the standards are already high. I mentioned in a video the other day, it may not have been a Suidlanders video, so you may not have seen it, viewers. But last year in February, the World Bank produced a report, as they do on all sorts of things from time to time, about the economy of Russia, and they revealed that Russia is now for sure has the fourth biggest economy in the world. But they could identify that they couldn't see. If you imagine, you look at a big machine, perhaps you're an engineer, you say, well, I don't know what's going on in the inside of the machine, I can only see the outside. But as an engineer, I know that there must be a certain number of functions being performed on the inside. And the World Bank was saying the same thing. We cannot see something like 40 to 60% of Russia's economy. Therefore, we can't cover it in the report, but we do know that it is there, 40 to 60%. And on the basis of the what they could see, Russia has the fourth biggest economy in the world. Now add 60% to that. I saw a report the other day. I didn't read it. I found it, and then I was busy with something else and ended up losing it. Not a report, I beg your pardon, an article in which a boffin, a specialist, I forget who, Dr. John Smith of Oxford University or whatever. And the title of the article is Russia's economy now the third largest in the world? I don't know, but I do know this. Nothing would surprise me. See, and there's opportunity here. Mensa. Gaps in the market. There's still a great deal of, how can I say this? I don't want to sound as if I think I know everything. Especially when you're in an environment that is so successful. Clearly these guys know what they're doing. But you can see that in some ways there is a naivety about capitalism. For instance, Ramon and I spoke about the restaurant on the train. Nobody uses it because it's a rip-off. 20-hour journey, 6 customers, 7, whatever. They overcharge for absolute rubbish food. Really, it's shameful. And to make a place like that make money is as easy as getting out of bed in the morning. If you saw it, you would know what I'm talking about. And the same with the hotel that I'm staying at. Certain small things, if corrected for minimal effort, or at the cost of minimal effort and minimal cost, financial cost, would benefit that hotel tremendously. And it overlooks the river. You know, you could promote it. It's it has a great deal of romantic potential, as it were. I'll give you a counter example. Across the road from my hotel, there are 3 supermarkets. There's one whose name I've forgotten. Oh, it's Bristol. Red and white, K&B, and Maxis. Above the one supermarket is another supermarket. So you have to walk up a set of stairs. As a result, it has no customers. None whatsoever. From one day to the next. It was doomed to fail from the beginning. In the face of the competition of the 3 that occupy 3 corners, you know. And one of those 3, so number 4 is a hopeless dead loss. The Bristoli is 4 doors down from the Maxis, but it's 150 meters, 120 meters further away from the pedestrian crossing. So as a result, everybody goes into the Maxis and nobody goes into the Bristoli. So these small touches offer opportunity to people with drive and vigor, because there's prosperity here, there's money here, money. There's business, industry. One guy was telling me yesterday he's a pilot, a harbor pilot. He was a sailor.
Так там, да, мост там ремонтируют. Лучше тут проехать. Сейчас же все из дачи едут так, через одно место, через... Тут быстрее получится. Это хорошо.
He reckoned that his English is not good anymore because he's not sailing the high seas, going into ports in different countries. Because he's moved jobs, and because of sanctions, there aren't English language crewed ships coming into the port to take fertilizer and timber. So I said to him, oh gee, that's too bad, you know, the sanctions. He said, no, he said, don't you worry. We're as busy, if not busier, than we've ever been, because other parties have come in and snapped up what the Europeans and the Americans and the Canadians, Australians, you know, the Western world has let go of. He wasn't complaining, but he might have been complaining. You know, he could easily have said, I hate the fact that I have to work 24-hour shifts, which in fact he does have to do. 24 hours on, off for 2 days, 24 hours, just for there to be a constant movement without shift changes over. Instead of 8 or 9 hour shifts, 3 a day, they get people to come in and just graft straight through for 24 hours and then change shift, so that they can keep up the pace continually for, and not break it thrice a day, only break it once a day. Look, this is Ursula von der Leyen's sanctions. Ursula von der Leyen, European Union. What did that idiot Lindsey Graham, the US Senator, what did that fool say? Bone crushing sanctions. These people are laughing all the way to the bank, as my dad would say. Laughing all the way to the bank. Bone crushing sanctions. Russia is on her knees.
Нет, ну есть дома, которые развалины.
Нет, так он показал, говорит, вот, смотрите, но это как бы исключение.
Нет, там просто застройка будет такая же большая.
What did that clown, was it Macron? Was it Macron or was it the former German Chancellor who said we must just stick together a little bit longer? If we can hold together against Russia a little bit longer, just a little bit longer, Russia will be defeated. Well, I've got a bridge to sell the German Chancellor. Special offer. If that fool can believe that, then that fool can believe that I'm in the bridge business and there's a bargain of a lifetime. I've got a bridge to sell you. And I was asking this guy, I asked Roman as well, I was asking Alexi, he's got quite a big house, maybe the size of an average South African 1970s, 80s built house, the kind of 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, lounge, kitchen, dining room separate, the kind of average suburban house. I asked him what's his electricity bill, because he doesn't use gas, he uses electricity. And he's got underfloor heating and you name it. This is Archangels, minus 25 degrees Celsius in the winter. Heating running full. 1,400 rubles a month. You believe that? 300 rand a month, 400, call it 400 rand a month. To heat a house, 3-bedroom house from top to bottom in minus 25 degrees Celsius. He said if it was gas, it would be less. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I've messed this up. I've messed it up completely. Arnold, you'll have to fix it. Sorry, 1,400 rand a month. Yeah. So, and it would be about 1,000 rand a month. I beg your pardon, everybody, if he had gas. There's energy costs. Sorry about that, Arnold. Education for free. For free. For free. Health for free. For free. Hey. I'm telling you. Anyway, everybody, there you go. There's some road scenes from Russia in Pavel's taxi, going back to the Meridian Hotel after walking through the Malye Kareli with Oksana and Raman. 8 kilometers between the wooden houses. Bye bye.